everybody, welcome to Need for Gaming. This is Joe. Today I'm bringing you a really cool game called Catan, the Dice game. Now, Catan, the Dice game is not too much different, but I would say it's about maybe 80% more different than the board game out there. The dice game, obviously, like the name suggests, you use dice, whereas in the board game you use pieces and other things. The dice game can be played solo, or it could be played with multiple players. Okay. Now there's the packaging to the dice game is pretty simple and basic. It's just a little clear packaging with the 6 dice in there, showing some of the symbols and things like that on the dice. It's not the best packaging, but I decided, being a gaming person and having a YouTube channel, might as well pick it up, try it out, and see what it's all about. Not to mention it's a solo game. I'm a fan of solo games, things like that, like the Battleship game and things. So I decided to give it a try. The instructions, on the other hand, were not all that exciting. For those who know me, I am not a fan of instructions. Instructions and I do not have a good relationship. I'm more of a visual learner. I like to watch games being played and things like that in order for me to understand them. It's a lot easier for me to to know how to play a game that way, rather than reading things like this. Now the instructions, they do kind of explain and go over what you need to do and what the simple basic steps are and stuff like that, and the dice, what they represent. But in terms of game play, that's a different story. Alright, so the pieces that come with the game, or the parts that come with the game, are, you got a pad with the playable pieces of paper on here. There are 2 sides to that. I'll get to that just a little bit later. And just the dice. That's it. Nothing else. You would think that they would have included some type of a pen, or even a pencil for that matter, for you to use, to play the game if you want to complete, game. For instance, if you're traveling and you notice the game at the store and you say, let's buy it, let's try it out. Well, guess what? You're going to have to fork out some more money to buy a pen too, on top of the $15 that it costs. So there is that downside. I wish it would come with some type of a pen or a writing utensil for you to use instead. Now, there are not too many YouTube videos out there that I've found that kind of go over the rules to the Catan Dice game. There's not too many people or videos even going through a whole entire game. There are quite a few, but if you ask my daughter, she would even admit that I've gone through several different videos, and I've even made fun of several of those different videos, where it doesn't really exactly tell you how to play and what if this, what if that kind of things. They just basically say, this is what you do, let's give you a demonstration, there we go, you got these pieces, this is what you do, that's it, kind of thing. And so, it wasn't, a lot of those videos were not that helpful. I'm hoping that my video may be a little bit more helpful than those ones out there. I couldn't find really too many videos of players going through the whole entire game to give people an idea of how to play and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that I might be able to change that too, where I'm going to be playing with my brother a full game of the Catan Dice game, so you can kind of get a better understanding of how to play for those visual learners that are out there. Now going to the pages, or these papers, they are 2-sided. There's Island 1 and the Island 2, okay? Most players stick with the Island 1. I suggest the Island 1. The Island 2 is a little bit more difficult, especially when it comes to the rules. This one comes with the rules. From what I understand, there's not too many. There's a different version of this Catan Dice game out there that does not have Island 2, nor the rules. And I don't even think they have the rules on the website, Catan's website. I may be wrong. But the rules to Island 2 are pretty confusing, especially in the initial beginning stage of playing the game or Island 2. It talks about rolling the dice. And maybe somebody might be able to help me here, because I couldn't find not one video of a gameplay of Island 2. And that's what I would like to change to as well. I would like to do a complete video of Island 2 for you guys, for others out there, so they could get an idea of how to play that one and what it looks like. But getting back to my original question, if maybe somebody that's watching this video could answer this question for me down in the comments below. In the instructions it states, so the starting player rolls only 3 dice, okay? He rolls 3 dice. Okay. Now, each following player adds 1 more die when rolling, up to the point where one player uses all 6 dice. From that point on, each player always rolls all 6 dice. I don't understand that. What in the heck does that mean? I mean, if I were to go based off of what it says, I would roll 3 dice, give it to my brother or the next player. He then rolls 4 dice. He hands it back to me if we're playing 2 players. I then roll 5 dice. I hand it back to him, and he rolls 6 dice. And then the game starts, if I were to understand those instructions. So, am I correct in those instructions? Am I correct in believing that's what we have to do? There's not any gameplay points being taken, or steps being made, building, anything, nothing is being done in that area, in that aspect, you know, building and points and stuff like that during those rolls. If so, then what in the heck is the point to rolling 1 dice after another, handing the dice to the other player or players until the 6th dice is rolled and then it starts? Why not just flip a coin? Or say whoever won Island 1 goes first the next round. I mean, that's just me. So, if I'm wrong in what I just said, if I also correct in another way, you know, in believing that there's supposed to be other steps being done during those rolls, you know, the 3 dice and the 4 dice, 5 dice, so on and so forth, you are allowed to build during those rolls. If you are allowed to collect points and whatnot during those rolls, then why doesn't it say that in the instructions? See, once again, this brings me back to the instructions. I really wish instructions were very clear on rules and things like that, more than not. Alright, I went off a little tangents there for a second, so let's get back on track here to how to play. Alright, so basically you work your way around the board here. Hopefully you guys can see this. You start off here on this one, and you work your way around the board as you're rolling and taking your turns. And as you're working your way around the board, you collect points by building things, okay? Now, there are certain things that you can build. If you can see those in the corner here, you got a road, you got knights, and you got a village, and you have a city. These are things that you could build by rolling the dice. Okay, when you roll the dice on your turn, you could, you have several different, variations of symbols and things like that. Okay, and with those symbols, you could build things. For example, I see down here that I have a brick, and down here I also have some ore. Okay, with that, oh, sorry, not ore. Where's my wood? There's the wood. Okay, so get my wood and my brick. I apologize. And I could build a road with that. Okay, so I set those 2 dice to the side. I roll the other dice, remaining dice. Oh, now you got myself another road. I set those 2 dice to the side. Roll one last time, 3rd time. If I want, I could roll the other dice that I just rolled. Let's say in this case I rolled 2 wheat or whatever, or grain, whatever it's called. I could go say, you know what? I want to try and go for a city and get 3 ore, so I'm going to re-roll all 4 of my dice, that I held, and see if I could get that city. And I did. Okay, so you can do that. You have to roll up to 3 rolls, and after you're done with all 3 rolls, whatever you set to the side or whatever you have, you collect those points and you write it down in these spaces provided here. And those spaces, you just, each turn you add up your points and write the points in that space, write the points in that space, that space, And so you have up to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 turns. Alright, a grand total of 15 turns that you take, and you do points on each of those. So, there's that. So you can build things as you go around the board on your turns, alright? Now you can do more than 2 things if you wanted to. Let's say I get a road, and I also get a knight. There we go. You might add those 2 points together, and you write it down in this space below. Now, when you build these things, what you do is you go ahead and you cross them off. Let me get this little spare piece of paper right here, and I'll show you. Alright, let's say I just built my road. Alright, I would then either circle that road to show that I built that, or I could go ahead and just fill it in, highlight it in like that. That's what my daughter does. And then you add up the points, which is, roads are worth 1 point, so I just got 1 point that turn, and that's it, you know what I mean? Let's say that's the only thing I got, and there's 3 rolls, it's just 1 road, which does happen, by the way. Now, if I don't get anything in all 3 rolls, if I don't end up with anything, that's a -2 points, and then you'll put a -2 in that space instead. So, you want to at least try to get something. If anything, a road, which is pretty darn easy to get, and 3 rolls worth, alright? Now you could also build knights. These little people looking dudes are knights. There's a ore knight, there's a grain knight, there's a sheep knight, a wood knight, a brick knight, and a joker wild knight, okay? Now the joker wild knight is the last one that you could collect. You have to do them in order. You have to start with the ore one, and you have to go with the grain one. So say on my first turn I was able to get a knight, or build a knight. I would then circle that one to show that I built that knight. And let's say in the same turn I build a, you know, with 3 more dice, you know, I build a second knight. There we go. That one shows number 1, so that's 1 point, and that one shows number 2, that's 2 points. That's a grand total of 3 points for that turn, and I put 3 points in the space. You see what I'm saying? Alright, so that's how you do the knights things and what the knights do. Now the knights provide you with that resource. So say later on in your, during your, I don't know, 7th turn or whatever it may be, if you rolled 2 times or whatever, and you are just short of an ore to get a city, you could go ahead and get one of those dice. You always have to have at least one if you're using 1 resource knight. If you're using 2 resource knights, you have to have 2 dice. You get the picture. And you turn those available die into the resource that you need. Or, you know, if you're using the ore knight, or grain, if you're using the grain knight. See what I'm saying? So that way you could have that resource if that's all that you're missing. So it kind of acts as a wild. Let's just state it that way. These knights are wilds, and you can use that wild only 1 time during the whole entire game. You can't use it multiple times. Alright. After you use that wild, that knight, you just put an X through it to show that you use that knight. He is no longer available during the rest of the game. Alright, so the same thing with these other knights. If you use them, put an X through them. If you build them, circle them. Pretty simple. This question mark one up here is a wild one. That could be any resource that you want, just one. And likewise, turn at least 1 available dice into whatever it is that you need. And there you go. Collect your points. There you go. Your turn is ended. Alright. So there's that. And then you got cities, which are these big looking houses, looking things on there. Alright. And then you also have villages, which are represented by like a small looking house thing right here. You can see a little bigger picture up here. A village and a city. Those are worth a little bit more points, and each city, if you could take a look on the map, look around the map for those symbols, you'll see a little number inside of them, so they're worth more points. But just like the roads, just like the knights, you have to do them in order. Not to mention, you have to have at least 1 road leading to that village. For example, let me see if I can point to this village right there. See that one with right there with the number 4 on it? There's not a road that leads to that village, so I will not, you know, if I build a village with my dice, I will not be able to collect that village. I will not be able to get those points because I do not have a road right now, according to this game, or this demonstration right here. I can not get that village. The only way that I will be able to get that village is if I build a road. So let's say during one of my turns, I build that road that leads to that village. Now I could go ahead and build that village and collect those points only if I roll the dice that allow me to build a village. Okay, I can't build the village with my dice during one turn, not having a road, and then say, I'll save it. Next turn, I build that road. Okay, now I want to get that village. No, I'm sorry, that was the previous turn. That turn's over. You did not have a road to that village. You can't collect those points. You can only collect the points on the current game, or sorry, the current play that you're in, if that makes sense. Okay, turn. So you roll the dice. I built my village again. Now I could collect that village because now I have a road that leads there. Does that make sense? If you guys are kind of confused on that, please leave it down in the message or in the comments below and let me know, and I'll try to explain that to the best I can. So I went over the knights. I went over the things that you could build. One thing that I did not go over quite yet, and I'll quickly do that real fast, is on the dice are some gold nuggets. Okay. Now when you roll the dice, if you happen to get 2 gold nuggets, you can use one of those nuggets as a wild and turn it to whatever you want or need. Okay, let's say you're missing a sheep and you have 2 gold nuggets. You turn one of those gold nuggets into a sheep. There you go. Now you can use that. You set both of those dice to the side, or at least the 1 gold, and you get that sheep, and you can add it to whatever you're trying to build. Okay, so a knight. If you're trying to build a knight or a village, you could just use that sheep now with that knight, but you cannot use that gold. You can't re-roll this gold, this other gold. That's out of the game. That's out of that play, that turn. You can't use that anymore for the rest of that turn. Okay. Your next turn, you re-roll the dice. You get 2 gold nuggets. You can do the same thing if you want. All right. So that's what the gold nuggets do. All right, and it kind of explains that in the rules. That part is kind of easy to understand. It's not that bad. Alright, so we went over the knights, went over the gold, the wilds, and that's about the gist of the game, other than strategies. This game is, you know, kind of based off of strategy, and it's also based off of rollers' luck. Okay, just like any other dice game, luck. So if you're lucky enough to get the dice that you need, that's great, but there are strategies that you could take as well. One of the strategies that I like to take personally, and this is just my strategy, you guys could try it, test it out, see what you think. One of my strategies is to build your knights as soon as possible. Get rid of your knights and your roads ASAP. The sooner you could build all your knights, the better. That way you could have those resources later on in the game to use to your expense, you know, if you wanted, instead of waiting to build a knight or whatever it may be. I say focus a lot on building roads and knights. If you are working towards knights, and let's say you roll some dice that give you a city and you have a road that leads to a city, take advantage of that roll. Get that city. I'm not saying don't go for that city, keep rolling dice till you get a knight. No, obviously cities are really hard to get, so go for that city. If you get rolls a dice that will give you a city, go for it. Okay? I'm just saying, you know, if you get rid of those knights as soon as possible, the better off you'll be, so that you can use those resources as wilds if you need to, if you're trying to build a city, trying to build a village. All right, you get my point. Not to mention, if you happen to go, you know, build all your knights and you're near the last, you know, 2 or turns or whatever, and you haven't used any of those knight wilds, go ahead and use each one to build yourself a village. You know, if you have a available road that leads to a village that you haven't claimed yet, you see what I'm saying? Go ahead and build a village with all those knights and collect those points. That's an extra, you know, especially if you're on a village near the end here, like that 9-point one, you can go ahead and collect that 9 points, or 11 points even. You could collect that, you know, 11 points at the end if you have not used any of your wild knights, okay? So that's about it. Here's a quick game that I played the other day. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to take a quick look at that. So this is a game that I played the other day, and I did actually quite well, if I may say so myself. 90 points. Other people may say, oh, I do better than that. I've got 100 something. That's awesome. Good for you. I mean, it's kind of hard, in my opinion, to get a lot of points, especially over 100, so that's good. Anyways, so that was a game that I did. You could take a look at that if you want for reference to see what I'm talking about in terms of getting those cities and villages and whatnot. And that's about it. So that's it for the video demonstration, guys. I'm sorry that was pretty lengthy and long, but hopefully you guys have a better understanding of how to play. since there's not too many videos out there that give a full explanation of how to play, as well as you know, a video, a game, full game demonstration. Yeah. We'll see you guys over there at the gameplay. Hey everybody, one more quick thing I needed to add. I forgot to add that on the video. Now, if you happen to lose one of the die, say you lost one, just like I just did there, you lost one, you cannot find it anymore, instead of going out and buying a whole complete new set of Catan dice, you know, you can use regular dice if you really wanted to, okay? You could go out and just get regular dice. The one could represent, you know, brick, the two could represent ore, the three could represent sheep. You get the picture. So you can use regular dice if you wanted to. I still say stick with just the basic, you know, the regular Catan dice, the actual dice, Catan dice for the game. I think it's a little bit more easier, especially with the symbols and things like that, so you're not confused and you don't have to go back to your little reference chart to see what the number one represents or means, that kind of thing. But I mean, that's just as a last resort. If you do lose a dice, you can go ahead and use a dice, a regular dice, if you want or if you need. So there's that. You know, the 6 could be the wild, the gold, kind of thing. And also, if you run out of the little sheets of paper, if you don't have any more, you can go on Catan's website, and they do have them as a downloadable PDF, and so you can go ahead and download a new sheet of paper, or whatever you can call them, plain paper, for you to print off and use if you need to. So there's that also as well. So anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to throw that out there since I forgot to mention that. Thanks guys, we'll see you there. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so I gave a video introduction on how to play this game, some simple instructions. So once again, as a video demonstration or introduction, this is Catan the Dice game. And that's what we're going to be playing. We just played not too long ago. Here's my scorecard from the last one, so you can kind of get a general idea if you want while we're playing. Let's see if you can figure out how we play and how to play yourself in the future. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Nathan, you could get us started by rolling the dice. Let's see. So 2 golds there, which you could use as a wild. What to do. Into a sheep. So he used that gold and turned it into a sheep there. And it looks like he's going to make himself a knight. A knight uses ore, a sheep, and the grain. He's going to try and get some wood for a road. It doesn't look like he was able to get that. One easy point for a knight. Now it's my turn. So I have here some ore, I got a wheat, some brick, and a sheep. My strategy is I always like to go for a knight. And it looks like I already have a knight right there. And I have 1 brick. I'm going to roll these 2 and try to get me a knight and a road. I always try to go for a knight and a road. That's my strategy. And it looks like I was able to get my knight and my road. So, yeah. 1 road, I fill that in there, and I circle the knight. So that's 2 points for me. Looks like he's got at least 1 road from the looks of it there, and he might be able to get a knight himself if he's going for that. Maybe not. Nope, you don't. Wait, do you have an ore? He does. You can go for a knight if you want, otherwise you go for a village. Got that wood. Got a brick. There he goes, he's got his knight. And a road. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, is right. So, I don't have a road that goes to my city. You know, this would be perfect opportunity for me to try to get a city, but I don't have a road that leads there. And as I explained in the video introduction, I could only get that city or claim that city if I have a road that goes to it. Unfortunately, I don't. And even if I was to go for the city, roll this dice and try to get a road, even if I did get that road, I still won't be able to get that because I could only use that road on my next turn. I cannot use that right now immediately. Haven't claimed that, unfortunately. Unless it's different, I don't know. The rules don't specify on that, whether or not you could use it immediately or not if you roll that road, if that makes any sense. But I wouldn't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and try to roll for a knight again. Hopefully I can get that knight in a road. Let me keep that. So I need to try to get a sheep and a brick here. Did not get a sheep or a brick, unfortunately. One more roll. Whew! Oh, that was a close one. I sweat bullets there, and I was able to get both. Thank goodness. Wow. And as I mentioned in the video introduction, if you were not able to get anything, then you get a negative 2 points. So, there we go. Alright, Nathan's got a village here, it looks like. He's going to roll for a road, maybe. He's got a brick there. Let's see if he gets that wood. Nope, no such luck. A nice road there, or sorry, village, which is good. Gives him some points. Let's see what my third turn brings me. Alright, so I got some wheat, I got some brick, and an ore. Now I do have 2 wheat and I do have 2 ore. I could try to go for a city. Oh, never mind. I didn't put my road. Ah, man. That was bad on my end. I should have put that road right there to go to the city. And I did not on my last turn, unfortunately. That sucks. So I guess I'm going to go for another night and a road. Let's see here. So I need a sheep or wood. Neither. Just turn it. Come on, give me something. Well, I got a road. Did not get a knight though. That's unfortunate. Alright, so I just got one measly little point there. At least I got something and not a negative 2. So here's what mine looks like. You guys can't see it that far away. I apologize. Alright. So I got 3 wheat. Oh man. A whole lot of nothing. At least I got a sheep and wheat here, so I can try to get some ore and some wood. Gosh darn it, man. I'm not having luck this game. Last game, man, I got a whole whopping 90 points. I didn't get nothing, not even wood. Ouch. So does that give me nothing? That gives me a negative 2 points. Gosh darn it, man. That is horrible. I didn't even get a flipping road. Ah. Nathan's got at least 1 road here. He's got 3 ore, which is good start for a city if he has a city available. Looks like he does. Ooh. He got his city. That's awesome. Looks like Nathan and I traded places. Last game I did really good. This game he's doing pretty good. Let's see here. So I got a road at least, thank goodness. I got 2 ore. I have a road to a city. I got 2 gold to give me 3 ore. Or wheat, so I can roll these 2 and try to get a city if I want. I want to try it. No. It's not looking good. Darn it. Nothing. Alright, so here's 2 things I could do. As I kind of explained in the video introduction, you can call upon your knights if you want. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to call upon my ore knight, to turn it into ore. Alright. So that gives me 1 ore. And now I've got 2 gold here for 1 wheat. Right? So I can turn one of those gold into wheat. Now I have 1 spare dice here. I'm going to call upon my, not wheat, grain. I call wheat. Anyways, and I'm going to turn that into grain. So there we go. Now I got 3 ore and 2 grain. That gives me my city, 7 points. Woo! So I can no longer use these knights that I crossed off here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I use those knights, I can't use those anymore throughout the rest of the game. How's that going? Yeah. Well, I thought you rolled it out just a minute ago. Alright. Next. Gold. Some gold on them there heels. Alright, so I'm going to try and roll for some wheat here. I'm going to turn this into wheat actually. I'm going to try to go for a road. Keep that. Give me a brick. Nope. Give me a brick. Nope.
Copyright.
At least I got a night. So that's 3 points. Alright, your turn. Well, man, you got his knight. At least he's got. What was that? Your second roll? In case I didn't explain in the video introduction, you have to get your knights in a row going counterclockwise. Start off with your ore knight, then your grain, then your sheep and wood and brick and the random and the wild. So you have to get those in order. You can't just do any of them. What'd you get there, Nathan?
Another night.
I got some gold. And I got me a knight. Excellent. So let's go ahead and try to get blood. There we go. That works. So I got me a road and another knight. So that's 4, 5 points. All right, Nathan, your turn. Right now, I only have my brick knight to get and my wild knight to get. And after I get those knights, I can focus on my roads and villages. And my cities, but I need a couple more roads. I need to get at least one more road going to that city. I want to get at least one more road to that village in case I get 3 villages. We're halfway through the game here. My roads aren't looking too good. Halfway through the game, you want to try to get at least half of your roads done, if not close to that. So I could try to go for a city here. I got my 3 ore. Nope, I don't have a city available. Darn it. Alright, well, let's go for a sheep and grain. Here's my grain. Darn it. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. I'm going to use that as a sheep so I can get my knight. And I don't get a road, so at least I got a knight. So I'm using this gold to turn it into a sheep. There we go. That gives me my knight, just in case you're wondering. And how much was that knight? 5 points? Another 5 points. Your turn. So I have my wild knight left to go. Nathan has his wild knight left to go. His roads are looking pretty good. Well, it looks like his roads are almost the same as mine. Yeah, he's exactly where I'm at as far as roads go. Not anymore. He got 2 roads.
So, am I able to use my 2 knights and make another road?
Right now, if you like, yes. I'm going to use a wood and a brick to make a road.
No,
yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'll think about it. I think I might save it.
Alright. So, let's see what we got. We got some wheat and some wood and gold. So I could try to get that knight again. I'm going to do that. So all I need is a brick. Sorry, an ore and some brick here. There's my brick. And there's my ore. Alright, so I got a road and a knight. Got my last knight, my wild. I can use the wild for anything, any resource I want. I'm going to go ahead and make a road to this village because I'm going to try to focus on villages and roads from here on out unless I get, I don't know, if I get enough dice to make a city, I'm going to be out of luck. I want to have at least one city available just in case I get that good roll. So this next turn I want to focus on getting another road to open up that city. That would not be a good thing if I roll a really good roll this next turn and get a city. Man, that'll be horrible. I won't be able to claim it. Alright, let's see what we got.
Oh, I think you're not counting your points again.
Holy mackerel. What did I get last turn? Do you remember? Was it a knight in the road?
I think so.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't count that last one, so 6.
Or the other one.
7.
You're missing 2 squares.
No, because this one will bring me up to speed with you, which is good because you started. So,
Oh, yeah.
I just missed one. Oh, whoa, don't roll. I just barely rolled. Alright, so, I got my knights. Now, got my road here. Now I want to try to focus on the village. See if I can get a village here. I got a sheep and some brick. And some ore. I don't need ore, so I need some grain and some wood.
Hey.
There's my wood. So if anything, I can at least get 2 roads. Let's try to get my grain. Nope, no grain. Alright, so at least I got 2 roads here. So there's my road to that city. 1 and 2 points there. There we go. Nathan's turn. We got 2 gold.
I'm trying to debate what I want to do.
So as for knights, I have my sheep, my wood, my brick, and my wild. So if I have to use those, which I probably might this next turn if I don't get anything good, I'll go ahead and use those to my advantage here. Because you want to try to use up all your knights if you can in a game. Because if you have any knights left over at the end of the game that you didn't use, that's just, you know, a wasted roll, if it were. You know what I mean? It's like wasting money in a sense on something that you're not going to use or do anything with. So you want to try to, you know, if you wasted a roll to get that knight, you want to try to use them if you can. Alright, so I got a road here, looks like, and I got some wheat and a sheep. I have enough for a knight, but I don't have any more knights. let's go ahead and try to go for my village here. I got my wheat, or grain, sorry, my sheep, and my brick. And I just need a roll of wood to get that village, not city, sorry. And I did not get that wood. But I'm going to go ahead and call upon my knight and turn this into some wood. Give me that wood there. There we go. We got a road and a village. So, I haven't got one village yet. That's sad. So there's one village and one road here. So that's 4 points for me. Got my cat getting into a box over here in the background. That's what you're hearing. Alright, we have your turn.
Cat in the box.
Cat's got an obsession with boxes. Just like every other cat out there. They love boxes. My camera turned off. Probably. Nope, we're still recording.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call upon my holy knight. Or whatever they call it. And let me get my town.
Alright.
And then...
Got your city unit?
that's going to do it.
Sweet. Nice. Alright. I'm going to try and get a city or a village. Which one am I going to go for this turn? Ooh, look at that. I don't have enough wheat, unfortunately, and I can't use my night wheat, so I can risk it and try and get my city. I'm going to try and risk it. Unfortunately, I did not get any wheat. I got a brick. So I can try to roll all these again and get a road. Or, I mean, get some wheat. Or I can hold on to that and hope that I get some wood. Or 2 wheat. I'm going to hope I get some wood, because I do not want another negative 2 points. Ah, yes, I got some wood. Alright, I was not able to get my city. But at least I got a point for a road. Shoo! That was a close call there. So here's what mine looks like so far, if you guys are interested in looking. Pause that if you have to. Wood over here. Got a lot of wood. Looks like he's going to try and roll for another road. And he didn't get another road. He's got one measly little point.
I'm going to...
Oh, what? No. He's going to call upon a knight here.
Call upon that guy. Well, bam.
Nice.
Well, bam. Well, bam. 2.
Alright. Some wood. Let's see. Man, I don't really have anything. Try and hope for some wheat here and get another city. Or 1 city. Come on, give me some more wheat. Nothing. Dang it. At least I got a road. I'm not having any luck, man. Alright, Nathan. We'll roll.
Well, bam. Well, bam. Does that count? Well, bam.
What is that? A knight? No, that's not a knight. What is that? He's going for a knight, it looks like.
But I'm going to call my woodsman guy.
Well, you got a knight.
I don't want a knight.
You don't want your question mark, your wild knight?
No, I want my town.
Ah, man, I didn't think about that. I could have used that wild on that one roll to get that wheat that I needed. Didn't I need just 1 wheat? Gosh darn it, I didn't think about that. I have a wild. I'll have to try to remember that this next roll here. That's a good thing. I got 2 gold. I got 1 ore. I just need 1 ore now. Come on, baby. Give me some ore. Yes! I got my city. 12 points. Nice. Alright, now I just need a village. Last turn, I just gotta have to get a village. I got brick in the wild, so I can use those to my advantage and get that village. Alright, my turn. Yeah. Alright, that was Nathan's last one. Now this is my last one. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna try and get that village. We got brick, we got gold. Okay, we don't have wheat, and oh, we got a sheep here. So let's try and get that wheat, shall we? Or some wood. There's my wood. There we go. Excellent. Alright, so I was able to get my village. That's a little whopping 4 points for me. We're going to add up our totals here, and let's see who won.
Finally over?
$67.
Now, I got 57. However, I got that -2 there, so that brings me to 55 points. And Nathan, you had what?
67.
There we go. Nathan won this game. Alright guys, that's it for the video and for the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You had a good time. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Yay.
Peace.